Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoy these videos, please click like and subscribe, and if you click the little bell, you will be notified of future videos when they are uploaded. Marilyn Monroe. She was born Norma Jean Mortensen on June 1st, 1926. This makes her a life path 7 for numerology. She died August 4th, 1962, under mysterious circumstances. She became one of the most popular sex symbols of the 50s and early 60s, and her films grossed over 200 million, equivalent to 2 billion in 2019 by the time of her death in 1962. More than a century later, she continues to be a major popular culture icon. She was born and raised in Los Angeles and spent most of her childhood in foster homes and an orphanage, married at the age of 16. She was working in a factory as part of the war effort during World War II when she met photographer from the first motion picture and began successful pinup modeling career. The work led to short-lived film contracts, and 20th Century Fox had hired her to do several films. Ultimately, you can research her history, which is readily available, but what I want to get to were the circumstances around her death. So what is put out for mainstream was that she currently lived at 12305 Fifth Helena Drive, and that Eunice Murray, the housekeeper, stayed overnight, right? And at 3 a.m., she sensed something was wrong because there was a light on in Marilyn Monroe's bedroom and the door was locked. She called the psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson, who broke a bedroom window and found her dead. So she was pronounced dead at 3:50 a.m. And at the time, Joe DiMaggio arranged the funeral. So what's kind of strange is there's been a lot of reporters and documentaries on exactly what happened that night. She did have allegedly relations with Bobby Kennedy, and there's some information about Peter Lawford, who was married to JFK's sister. So there is a theory that she was murdered because she was going to expose the Kennedys, all right? So what I'm going to do here in this video is tap in and channel Marilyn Monroe with the tarot cards, which is what I do. I'm not a natural medium. I can use the tarot cards to communicate with her. So it will be very interesting to use the cards to see what, now I have to preference this. Sometimes if someone is murdered in a way where like if she was given sleeping pills or something to knock her out, she may not even realize that she was murdered. So we will have to see what the cards have to say. So let's go ahead and ask the cards, and I'm going to just go to the regular universal weight cards first and just ask. I'm going to pull one card before I tap into Marilyn Monroe. I'm going to pull one card and ask, what is the most important thing we have to know before communicating with Marilyn Monroe? So I'm just going to cut the deck in half, pull one card. This is the Page of Swords, and it has to do with, it can have to do with telepathy, and that it can be that somebody is ready for a fight or they've got their weapon ready. But this also promotes telepathic communication, by the way. So that's interesting. All right, so we're going to pull a card from the Steampunk, which is the deck that I use for communicating with people. And I'm going to ask if Marilyn Monroe would please come through so we could communicate with her. And I'm just going to spread the cards out in a short little section here. And I'm going to say, is Marilyn Monroe able to communicate with us? And if so, let her present herself. Oh, this is interesting. The Two of Wands. So wands would be from the spirit level, and a young man is coming through that looks pretty sad. So is Marilyn there and able to communicate with us? I don't know who that young man that came through with. Oh my God. So she is. Oh, so he was kind of warning us. He was warning us that she's going to come through, but it's not going to be pretty. See the worried look on his face? He's going to come through. What's he wearing? Looks like he's wearing a belt with something hanging on the side. So this isn't going to be pretty. And here she is, killed in her bed. And look at all the swords coming down. So 9 of Swords. Okay, so she's coming through and she was petrified. She was petrified and horrified. Okay, so what else do you have to tell us, Marilyn, about what happened to you? She's coming through right away giving details of how horrible her death was. 4 of Pentacles. Somebody was paid a sum of money. Somebody was paid. She indicates that somebody was paid. See the money handing? And somebody was paid to have her... So do you think you were murdered? Do you believe that you were murdered? The Wheel. Wow. Here is she, and so she's coming through telling me that she was very defiant and that she was going to make sure that things would change in her life. Like she was going to make a big change in her life. So she's kind of going back and giving, she's like, I was going to make a change in my life. My life had gone through a course, but somebody was watching me. I was being watched and somebody was stalking me. So she knew she was being watched and stalked by someone. And I'm just going to keep pulling for her story. She said, I was troubled. She said, a lot of times I went out at night. This is her just being out, stayed out all hours of the night. And she said, I felt very alone. And I was very troubled, in a very troubled state. And wow. So we have, interesting that we have a play on lanterns here. People at night, look at this, at night, focused on her. These are both the same. She had gotten the attention of the wrong people. Oh, so she was being watched, but she was being watched by dangerous people, she's saying. I was being watched by people. And the 2 of Pentacles. So I'm going to ask her, how do you think that you died, Marilyn? Do you know how you died? This card just indicates that she had a very rough road. See the water, the rough water? She just had a really rough deal in life. How do you know how you died? Okay, she woke up in the spirit world. So the 9 of Swords just meant that she had a lot of mental trauma, like she was just traumatized, and in the card where she was in her bed and she was just traumatized. She popped into the spirit world and loved with love and light. So I guess it's a blessing that she didn't know. She doesn't know how she died. And what do you think about the information now that somebody killed you? Do you believe now, after you're on the other side, do you believe that somebody murdered you? Do you believe that to be true? Well, there we have the similar card. If you go back and you look at this card, look at how similar that is. She's indicating that she didn't see it happen. So she couldn't see it happen. Even this card, her eyes are closed. She couldn't see it happening. So she assumes now that something caused her death. So she's not completely sure over there, even over there, how she died. Do you believe that anybody would have wanted you to be dead? Do you believe anybody wanted you to be dead? Oh, he has to be hidden. He has to be hidden. See the hand there? She's like, Melanie, this has to be hidden. I can't reveal who did this. So see the hand reaching out? Somebody had a hand. She has the sword here. but she couldn't defend herself because she didn't realize that she was being murdered. But the person that did it, she thinks she knows who this is, or she does know, but she's going to keep it hidden. The person is hidden. So what have you made peace with this now that you've been passed away? And she's like, well, he got away with it. So this is somebody that's, an emperor is a leader, somebody in an important position. This is the emperor card. And so she believes that he got away with it. And all she really wanted in life was love. This is like all she really wanted in life was to love from the heart. Marilyn, have you found love on the other side? Is it possible for people to find love on the other side? Have you found anybody to love on the other side? She's got like a pet, like there's an animal. This is kind of a lonely card for her. This is kind of a lonely card. I kind of feel bad for her right now. This is very interesting. What message do you have for people from being on the other side? What message do you have for people? This that she goes that I was a drinker and a partier. I was a party girl. Yeah, we understand that about you. That you were full of life and liked to party. Did you ever meet up with your real parents, Marilyn? Did you ever meet up with your real parents? Oh, good grief. Her parents didn't approve of her. Okay. So she had the opportunity to meet with them, but because of the way she lived her life, and of course she said they weren't much better. She's like, they weren't much better, but they weren't like me. So she is not associated with her parents. Boy, doesn't this betray her? I mean, doesn't this betray her? She was like the sex symbol. Wow. So have you made peace with the fact that you had to die young? Have you come to terms with that? I feel like I have to pull this card over for some reason. Oh, and there's a skull on the shelf. Not really. She's not really happy to be on the other side. That's too bad. And there's oh my God, somebody's got her red. There was a red diary that she wrote everything in, and here's the red diary, and it's still hidden. It's still hidden. She's like, I wish the red diary would come out. So somebody still has her red diary. She's like, oh my God, 2 cards came up. A very affluent man has the red diary. A smoker. And he believes that he's kept it real, that he's kept it hidden. Wow. This is the card just that she still feels on the other side that she was admired and had a successful career, and that people still admire her. And she still dresses well. She's well dressed, and she's in her life. From the spiritual side, she realizes that she was a successful film star in the best way that she could. So this is the success card, and I guess this makes me feel a little better about her life. Is there anything that you regret in your life on Earth? Is there anything that you regret? She regrets connecting with the wrong people who plotted against her. So there was a plan against her, and she didn't know it. See, she was not looking, and there was a plan against her, and she couldn't do anything about it. She was completely unaware that there was something, people planning against her. She makes it sound like her career, like somebody was trying to sabotage her career. I don't feel like this was her life. I feel like she regrets that some things that she did regarding her career. And that she's really suffered. This is the card that, she indicated, I suffered physically, I suffered emotionally and mentally. So my life was full of suffering on Earth. Well, that's too bad. I just want to thank her for coming through. And I kind of want to disconnect from her for a minute and ask the regular tarot cards. So I'm going to thank her for coming through, and that I'm very sorry that you had to die young in such a traumatic way. and that America still loves you. I'm going to tell her that America still loves you no matter what went on in your life, because everybody knows that you had a hard beginning in your life. And I'm going to go to my regular tarot cards, and I'm just going to ask, is the person or persons who murdered her, have they passed away now? Are they on the other side? Oh, God, you can't make this shit up. So they're dead. So the people that did this to her are now dead. Okay. Well, I'm not going to talk to them because I don't talk to murderers. So I'm not not ever going to talk to them. But they're dead now. So that's interesting to know. You just never know where these cards, are going to take you. But I'm going to pull the Anna Kay deck, and I'm going to ask, what do the people listening here need to know about Marilyn Monroe's death? What do the people listening have to know about it? So this is the Four of Wands, and this is a card about, get together and celebrate the good things of her life, and still support the film she did, and that it was difficult for her, and she did have a rough life. But this is the Four of Wands, and this is the card about putting her life in a better perspective. Yes, she did have probably alcohol and drug problems or addictions, but in the end, it feels like that she was a very nice person. And what is Spirit? What is her life going to be like on the other side? I'm just going to ask the tarot. What is her life going to be like over there? So she is still a very loving, sensible, practical woman over there. And she prays. That's interesting because this is the woman who prays. And the Snuggle Bunny, I'm going to find out, is she going to find love over there on the other side? Is that even possible? Oh man, she doesn't feel like she deserves love. Oh, is there anything that we can do to help her so she will feel like she deserves love? She's just resting in peace. She's kind of stuck in like a resting in peace state. So this is kind of reminds me of the person who's in the casket, laying in the casket just peacefully, like, now I have some peace. So it might be that she doesn't, like, I'm assuming she wants love and she just wants to live in peace. And it doesn't include, evidently, loving someone right now, which is completely and 100% fine. So I'm going to pull one more card and see what is there anything else we have to know about Marilyn Monroe's situation? Is there anything else we have to know about it? That she's successfully got to the other side in the spirit world, and she feels good about her life over there. So this is the Victory card, and the people that caused her death are passed away, so we don't really have to be concerned about that. Is there any corruption against movie stars nowadays that would cause movie stars to be murdered nowadays? Is there any corruption going on nowadays that would cause movie stars to be taken out? Judgment. Oh, so they're still in a box. So it's like they're trapped in a box. The movie stars have to behave in a certain way, or they're judged. Looks like nowadays they're still being, watched. Who's watching them? Who is the watchdog? Manipulators. Marilyn Monroe had ties or had run in with the mafia, and its potential. These are people that are magicians, so they're manipulative. And look at all the tools. It's almost like, they've got a bunch of tools on the table. So it does look like our Hollywood stars, some of them are still like watched. They're still watched. So I guess that's good to know. And I don't want to have my videos get too dark and too dreary. But I do want to say to Marilyn Monroe, it's that, I'm deeply saddened that you were murdered, and I'm sorry that your life was difficult and hard, but you still were a great singer and an actress and you were inspiring to a lot of people. So I want to just leave you with blessings for a beautiful afterlife of love and light, and thank you for coming through to communicate with us.